And so welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me for an adaptive chair yoga practice. And so I'd like to begin the class today by inviting you to bring your hands together at your heart center. And so maybe taking a moment to notice how it feels to have your hands in this placement. And so if this makes you lose your balance in any way, choose another placement for your hands. So it might be that you place your hands on your Buddha belly. So that might feel a little more grounding and comfortable. And then from here, I'd like to invite you to begin the class by setting a simple intention for your practice. And so that might be an area of your body, maybe a condition you'd like to work on, or it might be that you feel up to dedicating your practice today to someone. So in which case you could visualize that person in front of you, silently say their name, and then wishing them happiness and that they might know the root of all happiness. Release your arms down by your sides, spiral your palms open, and shake your hands vigorously. So wiggly fidgets. So if anything I share with you today feels uncomfortable, if even the most gentle movements exacerbates pain, I'd like to invite you to explore visualizing the movement. And so imagination is powerful. And so that could be a lovely starting point. Visualizing the movement. So feel as if you're doing the movement. And so from here, bunny. So I'm teaching from my lovely little panboat cabin in Half Moon Bay on the coast, Sunshine Coast. And so of course we're all at home, so pets and children are welcome. And it just so happens that I have my little bunny Evie that you'll probably see hopping around. And so let's ground through our feet. And center and ground through the soles of your feet. And so we want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. So maybe notice where your thighs and your bottom are in contact with your seat. Energy moving in two directions. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. So you might imagine you have a thread on top of your head and it's pulling you way up to the sky. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So you can even take two fingers, place them on your chin. And from here, we'll transition into mindful movement. And so as you're ready, reach your arm way up to the sky. Then slowly float your arm down. Gentle movement, reaching up. Slowly float your arm down. Let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement. On inhale, reaching up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. It's as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees, and we'll begin the movement on the other side. So as you're ready, reaching up, way up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Gentle movement, reaching up. Slowly float your arm down. So adding a gentle breath to the movement on inhale, reaching up full length of your inhale. On exhale, release full length of your exhale. Release both arms down by your side. This time we'll reach both arms way up to the sky. Hold your fingers in, pressing into the palms of your hands, or maybe taking your hands to the back of your head. And together we can shout out, I am fearless. I am strong. And because none of us get through this amazing life alone, we can shout out, we are fearless. We are strong. And with a sigh of relief, release your arms down by your side. Shoulders back and down just a few times. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And take a moment and notice, does it feel better to have your palms face up or palms face down? If you're tired, I'd like to invite you to explore resting your palms face up, open to receive. If you are feeling scattered, restless, palms face down encourages grounding. And so an invitation to begin to move your gaze downward. And so moving away from the busyness in our minds and more towards our heart. Facial muscles soften, jaw hangs. Relax your shoulders, your elbows, relax your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Let your throat relax. Allow your upper back to relax, your mid back and your lower back. Relax your legs. And so an invitation to bring your awareness to your breath without changing anything. Maybe noticing that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. Notice, is your breath long? Is it smooth or is it jagged? And breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or if it feels better for you, breathing in and out through your mouth. And so if you're congested or you have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. And so together from here, we'll explore a simple breathing exercise that research shows can help with pain management and anxiety. So place your hands on your Buddha belly, or it might feel comfortable for you to rest one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And so begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. And when we lengthen our exhale, it is calming for our nervous system. And see if you can smooth out your breath so that your inhales and your exhales are about the same duration and quality. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted, just notice, sorry, a little chat note. If you get distracted, as I just did, know that that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. And so now an invitation to see if you can add a quality of softness to your breath. So you might imagine that you're petting your favorite animal friend. Or you might imagine that you just tasted something delicious. And see if you can bring that same softness to areas of your body that you feel are too tight or knotted. Our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. Just for a few more breaths, or as long as it feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this simple breathing exercise flowing. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, as often it will, an invitation to bring your gentle awareness to the sounds around you. And so I can hear my bunny rabbit, Evie, playing in his favorite little corner of the cabin. I can hear the sounds from the fireplace. And so maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice, and in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. Our old friend, our breath. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And then drop your chin towards your chest. And gradually blink your eyes. And so we're falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. And so notice if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And so we've begun the process of tuning into our bodies and connecting with our breath. And so arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, And again, wiggly fidgets, a little more vigorous this time. Wiggly fidgets. And so often in my classes, I like to share poem, a little piece of writing, a quote that I hope will inspire. And so yoga has its own unique philosophy. And I'm finding that there are a lot of parallels with other ancient wisdom traditions. And so just prior to the class, I opened up my little book where I have a few of my favorite quotes and little sayings and so on. So I'd like to share this with you. And so we're sitting comfortably, effortlessly upright. Feel free to close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And so the quote is by Thich Nhat Hanh, and he's a beloved Zen Buddhist monk. In the old age of his old age, I think he's 92 or so. And so it goes like this. We need a real awakening, enlightenment, change our way of thinking and seeing things, to breathe in and to be aware of your body and to look deeply into it. So to realize you are the earth and your consciousness is also the consciousness of the earth. Thich Nhat Hanh. And so I'll read it one more time. We need a real awakening, enlightenment, change our way of thinking and seeing things, to breathe in and to be aware of your body and to look deeply into it. So to realize you are the earth. And your consciousness is also the consciousness of the earth. Thich Nhat Hanh. And so ring my Tibetan singing bowl 3 times. And so bring your hands together at your heart center, or maybe at your Buddha belly. That feels a little more grounding for you and comfortable. On inhale, extend your arms away from you. And then bring your hands back to your heart center or to your Buddha belly, navel center. And so, if you'd like, imagine the sun at your heart center. On your inhales, imagine the radiant light, radiant rays of the sun standing out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. So it's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale, and then if you'd like, joining me in chanting Om, or maybe making a humming sound. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Place one hand on your belly, the other on your heart center. And maybe noticing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And drop your chin towards your chest. Gradually blink your eyes open. And do another little wiggly fidgets. And so at this time, if you'd like and it's available to you, walk your hips forward in a chair. So come forward about 2/3 of the way. And then an invitation to place your feet so they're about hip distance apart. And so a little trick for that is maybe 2 fists between our knees. And so notice if that placement of your feet works for you. And so if it feels comfortable, in other words, stable, wonderful. However, it's not one size fits all. We don't all wear the same pair of shoes. So place your feet comfortably, approximately hip distance apart. And so sitting up nice and tall, push down through one foot and then push down through the other. And so it might be an energetic pressing down. And so we're grounded through our feet. Sit bones are sharp on the chair, so maybe do a little bum dance. Spine is nice and long, shoulders back and down. And then rest your hands, palms face up or down on your thighs or knees. And from here, we'll transition into a warm up for our neck and shoulders. And so let's begin with simple neck rotation. So simple neck rolls. And so keeping a lovely breath awareness throughout your practice. So our breath is long and smooth and soft. And then move in the other direction. And so see if you can resist temptation to move to your full range of motion. And then move your head up and down as if nodding yes. From side to side. As if nodding no. And bring your head back center, tuck your chin slightly, and then drop your ear towards your shoulder. And if you'd like to intensify the stretch a little, release your opposite arm by your side. And we'll meet back at center. Drop your ear towards your other shoulder. Maybe relaxing your opposite arm by your side. Other arm or other side with your arm. Come on back center. Oh. And so shoulder circles. So let's bring your shoulders out towards our ears and then roll forward, down and back. Soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. And then move forward, up, back and down. And then if you'd like, exploring alternating from side to side. And so I'd like to invite you now to begin to move your arms in ways that you don't typically move. So we're wanting to get into that deeper tissue in our body. And so we all have our own sense of rhythm, and sometimes it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these movements. And so stretch into the stretch. Get bigger in space. And then slowly coming back to stillness. Let your arms relax by your side for a moment. And then rest your hands on your thighs. And notice how this feels. And so not about what we look like in our yoga practice. The diagnostic tool is, how do I feel? And so let's reach our arms in front of us. So you're more than welcome to let your hands rest on your thighs, or bring your arms up a little higher. And so let's stretch our palms, and then take your hands to your shoulders. Stretch your palms, hands to our shoulders, and stretch. And so let's begin to alternate from side to side. So this alternating from side to side is good for our brain health. And so particularly our memory. And then release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, take your fingertips up to your shoulders, and then draw your elbow points towards each other. And open, and elbow points towards each other, and open. And now let's begin to imagine we're drawing circles, maybe on the screen in front of you, the wall if you like, with our elbow points. And other direction. And so see if you can create a little half smile, like a little Buddha smile. So when we smile, it releases saliva. So we want a nice juicy mouth, juicy body. And then when you're ready, float your arms down. Rest your hands on your thighs and feel your work. And so the yoga happens between the movements and the poses. In those still moments. Notice how's your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And so let's practice some movements for our hands. And so stretch your palms. So you can imagine starfish if you'd like. And so the bear claw, soft fist, starfish, bear claw, soft fist. Circle your wrists in one direction. Circle in the opposite direction. Maybe imagine that you're playing piano. And so we're getting that synovial fluid. So Mother Nature's WD-40 going into all the little joints in our fingers. Or pardon me, in our hands, our fingers. Interlace your fingers loosely. And then get wrist circles. And then move in the opposite direction. And so let's reach our arm out and then press against your hand. Give your wrist a little stretch. Fingers are pointing down towards the earth. And then pull your fingers back and down. And so let's practice this on the other side. So pressing fingers down towards the floor, the earth, if you like. And then press back. Down. Good. Release your arms by your side. Reach your arms up, up. And then Slowly float your arms down. So you can give your hands a little shake up your shoulders. And so repose. Make sure your feet are placed firmly on the floor, on your footrest if you happen to be in a chair, wheelchair. Our sits bones are sharp on the chair. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. Shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, an invitation to bring your arms up. And so broad through the collarbones. Move the top of your sternum. So extend beyond your wrist, your fingertips. And then turn your gaze, I'll mirror you this time, looking over your left shoulder. Come on back center, float your arms down. And reach your arms out, so coming into the pose on the other side. Turn your gaze, looking over your right shoulder. Come on back center, and release. And take a moment, notice how's your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. Okay. So moving on, let's cross one arm over the other. Take hold of your shoulders. See if you can walk your fingers back a little. And then drop your chin towards your chest. And this is an I love me hug. So give yourself a bear hug. I love me. And then remember which arm is on top. Extend your arms away. And then cross the other arm on top this time. Taking hold of your shoulders and where you can reach comfortably. Walk your fingers back. Drop your chin towards your chest. I love me. And then we can extend our arms out, imagining that we're giving everyone out there a hug, virtual hug. And so let's come into some movements of the spine. And so actually, let's do a practice called finding your balance. So for this, make sure that your feet are firmly planted on the ground. You might even want to walk your feet forward a little bit for this one. And of course, sits bones are sharp on a chair, sitting up tall. And so hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. And so really it's not about seeing how far we can go. We just want to come to that just right amount of effort and ease. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, rock back up. So let's keep this gentle rocking movement flowing for a few more breaths. And then come on back up to a neutral spine. Take a moment. And so now let's sway from side to side. And then from here, let's begin to make circular movements with our upper body. And so stirring the pot. And so flowing with our breath. So our breath is long, smooth and soft. And then move in the opposite direction. So move at your own pace. So it might be that you make bigger circles or smaller. You're moving a little quicker or slower than me. And so become aware of the space in front of you, beside you, the space above you, and especially bring your awareness to the space behind you and trust that you're being supported. And then slowly come on back to a neutral spine. Release your arms by your side, then rest your hands on your thighs. And take a moment to notice how's your breath. It's our old friend, our breath. So place your hands on your thighs or your knees. On an inhale, draw your hands in towards your hip creases. As you do, begin to turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. And so be careful not to throw your head back. And so you'll know your head's back too far if it's difficult to swallow. And we'll stay here for a few breaths or as long as it feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, slowly come out of the pose. And so from here, I'd like to invite you to let your chin drop towards your chest, round your shoulders towards the front of your body, and then round your whole spine. Inhale, come on back to a neutral spine. And we'll repeat this movement a few more times. So let your chin fall towards your chest. Round your shoulders towards the front of your body. Round your whole spine. And then come on back to a neutral spine. And so one more time in your own time and rhythm. And finish up the movement that you're on. And so from here, we'll move in the opposite direction. So lift your chin, pull your shoulders down and back. Come on back to a neutral spine. You can draw your hands towards your hip creases. If you like, lift your chin, shoulders back and down. Come on back to a neutral spine. And so last time in your own time and rhythm. And so my hope for you is that you become your own yoga teacher. And so finishing up the movement that you're on. Release your hands down by your side. And so maybe taking hold of the underside of your chair with your right hand. Release your, spiral your left palm open. And so with a soft bend in your elbow, nothing rigid, reach way up and over. And coming into a side bend. Turn your gaze down towards the floor to release the tension in your neck and then breathe into your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? Slowly come out of the pose on this side. Take a moment, notice, do you feel a subtle difference between one side and the other? And then we'll come into the pose on the other side. So taking hold of the underneath of the side of the chair for stability, or wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. Release your right arm by your side, spiral your palm open. Inhale, reaching way up and over. Keep your right sit bone on the chair. And so stretching all along our armpit, down along our rib cage, all the way down to our head. And slowly come on out of the pose on this side. Rest your hands on your thighs. Take a moment and notice how this feels. And so let's come into a seated twist. And so if you can bring your feet a little wider than outer hip bone distance, great. If not, so yoga meets us right where we are. And so reach your left hand over to your right near thigh. Right hand comes to the underneath of the chair. So you'll notice we're already into the twist at this point. Let's see if we can go a little bit deeper. So inhale, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, twist. So our head moves last. So inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper if you'd like. Our eyes are closed softly, focused inward or soften your gaze. And slowly unwind. We'll take a moment and we'll come into the pose on the other side. Take your right hand over to your left knee or thigh. Left hand comes beside you to the underneath of the chair, or maybe the back of the chair. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. A soft, quiet breath. And slowly unwind. Okay, so let's rock and roll, reaching up on the inhale. And twist on your exhale. Reaching up and twist. Reaching up and twist. Inhale, reaching up to the sky and twist. And then slowly come on back to a neutral spot. And so our side bends, twists, pretty intense spinal movement. So we need to realign our spine. And so we can do that with a seated forward fold. And so take hold of the sides of your chair, the underneath of your chair. Sitting up nice and tall, hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. So tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then imagine or breathe into your lower back. You might want to walk your feet forward a little bit. So this might be your pose today, or it might be that you feel comfortable coming forward a little more, in which case you could rest your forearms on your thighs. Let your head hang, maybe nodding yes and no. So notice how you feel in the forward fold. So forward bends are calming for our nervous system. Come out of the pose by pressing down through your inner heels. Maybe placing one hand on each of your thigh. Lift from your chest. Okay. Do a little shake out again if you like. And so I think I'd like to do a few movements for our feet. And so come up on your toes, roll back on your heels, up on your toes, back on your heels. Maybe toe heel out to the side. So it might be micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. Okay. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to stretch your legs out in front of you. And so if you happen to have a yoga buddy that can help with these movements, that would be awesome. And so feet are about hip distance apart, so about 2 fists. And then hold your chair for stability. And then bring your toes towards your nose. And then maybe windshield wiper your feet from side to side. And then fan your feet open and close, open and close. Press your feet back into the floor. Walk your hips back in the chair a little bit. And then forward. And then from here, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands together, rub your palms vigorously. So energize your hands, warm up your hands. And then cross over, place your hand on your knee, the other hand on top, and then massage your knee. So send your knee some love. And let's cross over to the other knee, hand on top of each other, massage your knee. And so let's come seated back in our chair comfortably for a practice called palming. And so if you have a blanket, maybe some of you might have a bolster, something that you can place on your lap. Might be a yoga mat, roll that, tuck it into your yoga belly. And so let's rub our palms vigorously again, warming up our hands. And then hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. Rest your elbow points on your blanket, whatever roll you were able to make. Maybe on your thighs. And then cup your hands lightly over your eyes. And so close your eyes softly if it doesn't create any anxiety. And then allow the warmth of your hands, the energy from your hands, to soften behind your eyes. And we'll stay here for a few breaths or as long as feels comfortable. Shift your eyes from side to side. And then one up out of the pose. So we might make your eyes open. And so sitting comfortably, from here we'll come into short guided meditation and your final relaxation. And so it might be that if you happen to have a yoga mat, you block, that can feel lovely along the spine. A blanket on your thighs can be grounding. And so I'd like to invite you to explore mudra with me. And so today, the mudra that I'm choosing is Jnana Mudra. And so it's one that a lot of people who practice yoga are familiar with. And so I learned a new way to teach it. And so I'm grateful to my teachers for passing along this wonderful learning, teaching practice to me, and so that I can pass on to you. And so for this, I'd like to invite you to tuck your elbows in towards your torso, elbows are bent, and then bring all your fingers so that fingertips so that they're touching your thumb, pressing into your thumb. And then just leave your index finger pressing into your thumb and see if you can extend the other 3 fingers. And so palms can rest face up or face down on our thighs or knees. And so if this mudra hand placement works for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, choose another placement for your hands. And so draw your hands in towards your hip creases. Look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then imagine that you're breathing into your heart. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And So the meditations by Thich Nhat Hanh, breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Come into whatever position, comfortable position you'd like for your final relaxation. And so if you have the ability to recline in your chair, recline. If you have a chair, something that you can rest your legs on, up on a chair, that can feel lovely. And so make sure that you are warm. And so let's close our eyes softly. If that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. So closing your eyes about 3/4 of the way. Can be calming for our nervous system. Rest your hands, palms face up or down as desired. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. And so not scrunching our shoulder blades together, but allowing our shoulders to soften away from our ears. Soft Buddha belly, the area between your navel and your pubic bone. The soft palms, quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. The serenity pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. And soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on an inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. It's challenging to quiet the mind. Sometimes placing our hands on our belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. Without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. And thank your body again. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Rub the tips of your fingers with your thumbs if you like. And then come on back up, seated comfortably to finish up your yoga practice. So bring your hands to your heart center. So it might be in prayer pose, maybe placing one hand on the other. And take a moment to notice how it feels to have your hands in this vulnerable place on your body. And then lifting our heart to our hands, bowing our head to our heart. Take a moment to honor yourself and honor everyone that's out there whom I can't see, but just know that we're connected. And so honoring all of you. And so this is a special season. It's the holidays, and so I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And yeah, so the teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. And thank you to Adam, my tech host today, the Disability Foundation, ConnecTra, for bringing their lovely programs online. And so I'll stay for a few moments if there are any questions or feedback. I always love to hear from you.